Hello, my friends. It's Heather here. This is the Back to Me podcast. This is episode number 17. And if you ever watch my live video streams, you may have heard this interview then. But heck, listen to it again. You might have missed something. This week is Mr. Train Your Brain, Dr. Greg, telling about how he died and lived to tell about it. And be patient. I had some technical difficulties in the beginning, so it's still an awesome episode. Enjoy. Take care. Hi, my friends. Welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and this is Heather, and I am super excited that you're here. You are going to hear some tips and some tricks and some ideas to help you live your happiest and healthiest self. I call it Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, back to me, then you can take better care of others, and we can all make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way, and I am super happy that you're here. Awesome. Holy moly. First of all, when you watch that, you're like, what? That actually happened? How do you, when you watch it, how do you feel about that? I guess, how long ago was it, first of all?
That was, this November will be 9 years. I had a 50% chance of lasting 1 year. With a skull fracture, scoring 3 in the Glasgow coma scale, you're just not supposed to live. But I kept
Right.
Did everyone hear the volume on that? I couldn't hear the volume on my end. I wasn't sure. I didn't see much.
Oh, I could hear it, but
I didn't hear anything or see much.
Well, I'll go back and check later. So if it didn't work, I'll just splice it in later so that they can actually, when I download the recording. Yeah.
I didn't see it. Just
couldn't see it either. I asked you if you could see it.
I couldn't hear you at all.
Oh, okay. Well, live and learn.
Yeah.
If it didn't work, I'll go back and splice it in.
Very good.
I could see it. I could see it and hear it. So lucky me. And you know what was on it.
Nice.
Right?
I do. I've seen it multiple times. But to answer your question, how do I feel when I see that? I feel good. I feel fine. In that,
it's like the past.
Well, yeah, we're live right now, correct? Is there people on?
We are live, my friend.
Cool. It's all new to me.
I know.
I had retrograde amnesia, meaning I didn't really remember much what happened before the event. I didn't remember 3-4 days before the event. I don't remember it at all. Remember, I was in a coma for 30 days. I don't really remember much of that stuff. So yeah, don't really.
And I guess that's kind of normal, right? That a head injury, you lose some storage, gets knocked out. I figure it's like it gets knocked out your ear or something. But was that in Toronto that happened?
No, it was in Michigan. I was down my hockey, went with my hockey team to go watch the Michigan State Spartans play a football game. We watched the game. Afterwards, I was crossing the street, meeting the boys at the restaurant, and a car struck me traveling at 74 kilometers an hour, 74. I was walking.
That's crazy.
I don't remember anything. Thank goodness a passerby came, felt compelled to stop. She did, got the vitals going. She had a big my hockey team help because I was too big to move for her. So she got the chest compressions going. There was no vitals at that point. Then I was in a coma for a while. So yeah.
Yeah. And then boom, 9 years later. But it was not just like that easy.
No. Lived in hospitals for 6 months. So it wasn't that fun. Well, I don't. Yeah.
But I think so. I only bring it up to talk about it because to give context to like what you're doing now, you're telling people you can change it, right? You can use your mind and you can heal and you can bring yourself to wellness. And people who are struggling can say, well, yeah, but he was already, pretty awesome. He was already, fine. And I'm here. But when you see what your challenge was, it gives people that realization that they probably could do it right. If
100%.
right. So what was your so right now you're working on thought what's it called? Thoughts to Greatness? Is
Turn
that
your thoughts to greatness. It's about rewiring yourself for success in life. And I use various different strategies to do that online. I was just recently accepted that I've done a lot of presentations to the health conference, present on different hospitals, colleges, the chiropractic profession, the health and fitness insurance, all sorts of different places I present. I was just recently accepted to the Canada Speakers Bureau,
cool?
which is really cool. It's all past Olympians, like some major players on this thing. I was accepted to be on that, but then COVID hit. So
Right.
I'm like, dang it. So anyhow, that's why I've adapted and I've created a home studio here in the basement. I've got my Zoom H1N mic behind me. I think you can see the green screen. I film in front of that and have virtual backdrops, and I've adapted. I've got quite the lighting system down here, and I put presentations together online. I've run quite the courses. I'm in the midst of creating some more courses, and that's what I'm doing right now, which is
So
pretty
are
cool.
are you putting these together on a website, or are these like public domain, or people are signing up for them? Do they have like a length of time? How is that working?
With two ends. There's an active YouTube channel. Videos go up on that. But
Oh, you
I'm
didn't give me your YouTube channel to post up, but I'll post that
oh,
up later.
just Greg McClucky, just my name.
I'm gonna post up your Facebook group.
Well, the private group to join that's where all these videos get posted. And I post a lot of content in that private group. It's all for people to rewire this for success. In that I'm an architect of potential. In that people will limit themselves in thinking that something's unattainable because of pains or whatnot slowing them down. And that's not the way it works. I wasn't supposed to live past a year, that 50% chance of making a year. Now it's like, it's not what I can't do, it's what I can do.
Right.
I cycle a lot, I swim, can't run anymore. Who
So
cares?
what
Don't care.
right. So
Well,
what do you think made you switch that from, I'm lying here in a wheel on a hospital bed. What do you think made you, because you're offering to help people rewire their brain, but somehow you did it yourself. So
yes.
what do you think helped you or kick started that?
Well, to take a step back, been a chiropractor for 12 years. I was always involved in the health and fitness industry, degree in kinesiology. And that's what I used to do, use physicality and nutrition to kind of rewire this stuff. And you asked what I did. It was self-experimentation, if you will, in that I'm not going to sit there and wallow in despair like, oh, woe is me. I mean, I've had countless surgeries that are trached through there. I've lived in wheelchairs, lived in the hospital. It wasn't very fun. Did a lot of stuff. But when I was in the hospital, at one point, I was like, dang it, I got to get back and see some more patients. I have to go see some patients. Then I was like, okay, if I saw 3, 4, 500 patients a week back in the day, which was really good, what
Yeah.
happens if now I'm affecting thousands of people a week in a different facet, a different way? And I was okay with not going back. I'm fine. And so I retired the license. I no longer am an active practice, but I take all the knowledge, which has been up in here, which I did this is years of study, but also self-study on the self, in that we can create anew. Sandrine Theroux was in
Is that a
great,
person?
great TED Talks on
Okay.
neurogenesis, how the Norman Doidge from Toronto's written books about this.
I read the Norman Doidge book. It was good.
That's on neuroplasticity, how you can
Yeah.
recreate or make plastic changes. But
Is
what
that the one
Theroux,
that's the one that's called The Brain That Changes Itself?
yes, that's Norman
Right.
Doidge, Dr. Norman
Yeah.
Doidge from Toronto. In 2014, so I just got to the hospital and whatnot, and I saw this TED talk from Sandrine Theroux showing that the hippocampus up in the brain creates every day anywhere between 700 and 1,400 new stem cells a day, progenitor stem cells. See, when I was a McMaster, I went to Mac, in kinesiology, and then chiropractic college, we were taught you're only born with a certain amount of neurons.
I know.
400,000. This was estimated 400,000 neurons. As you age, they simply die off. Add disease, drugs, trauma to the mix, they die off quicker. What they've discovered is that the hippocampus up in your brain can create anew, such that by the time you're 50, I'm not yet 50, I'll be very soon, next month, every neuron in your brain is completely new. And you have a say in what that hippocampus does, meaning, are you eating right? Are you exercising? Are you thinking right? Are you doing these things? So I didn't know what I was doing. I got to the hospital in a wheelchair for Pete's sake, and I had my rehab support worker. I had full-time care workers. I just wanted them to take me to the gym. I didn't really know why.
Right.
But then, lo and behold, when I started waking up a bit more, it's like all my years of training kind of came to fruition in that I was creating anew. And chemically, what I was doing by releasing dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, all these things. It's just
So for people who don't know, those are like good brain chemicals.
those are endogenous, meaning comes from within. Neurotransmitters, hormones that we create ourselves. Heck, endorphins, most people have heard of endorphins.
Yeah.
Runner's high, like when you run, you get that high. Endorphins are on the same class of drugs as morphine.
Right.
Heroin. They're heavy duty, yet they come from within. They're all natural. We create these things. They're opiates, endogenous opiates. They make you feel good. They make you feel high. Anyhow, serotonin, dopamine, they're also neurotransmitters which help a ton with the healing. And you can create this stuff. So what I was doing was exercising, watching what I was eating. I didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of self-experiment. I wanted to move. I was in wheelchairs. At one point, I'm making a video today about it. I had a wheel crank thingy. I'm sitting in a wheelchair at the gym. This is before COVID, lockdowns, a lot of stuff. I'm wheeling like this. It's like, get the heart rate going. It was exciting. One hospital I was at, I was at the old Bridgepoint Hospital, downtown Toronto. We went out across the Don Valley. We went under the DP. We found a way underneath me and another roommate in our wheelchairs. Now
you were escapees from the hospital?
No, they let us go. I don't know how, but they let us. I don't know why. They let us go. So we went for a little cruise in our wheelchairs, which was awesome. But oh my gosh, the workout trying to wheel back up that darn hill was nuts. But just all these things to make you just want to move. And that became the genesis of the website, Mr. Train the Brain, and this whole Facebook group page, put out Turn Your Thoughts to Greatness. And I've been reaching out to a lot of people around the way, teachings that yes, you can create this.
So it's interesting because you were already active. It was almost like your body had a memory of, well, obviously I need to move, right? Even if your brain wasn't totally there, your body was like, no, we need to move to be healthy. But if you think about right now, some people have never had that experience of what it's like to move regularly. Because I was having this conversation with my husband the other day. He just got up. He said, I need to work out right now. So he did, because he just said, no, I just feel like I need to work out. And I think a lot of people have disconnected from that movement almost, the need to, the understanding, the body understanding that you need to move. So when you're doing the retraining the brain work, I guess I don't have a really, I'm trying to picture what it would look like. But I guess you're bringing in, are you using videos and you're just using all different aspects of like overall wellness to bring people back in to that awareness, to try and reactivate their natural instinct to move?
Through my teaching, through my training you're referring to? Yeah, all sorts of different ways. I make it all up through video. I use the B-roll. For example, I have a lot of video of me actually on a bike, swimming, or not just myself, other people running, walking, barefoot, grounding, earthing, all these natural things. Then a list as well. Some are very detailed on the chemicals, what you're creating, what you're doing. And we get the whole nutrition section as well. There's a course coming out on Tuesday on how to retrain and rewire yourself for success. And that's the course I'm putting out, which is pretty awesome. Excited to be putting that thing out.
So that's a lot of the rewiring the thinking, trying to rewire thinking, and you go ahead.
Rewire yourself for success. There's many ways to do that. There's lots of different ways to do that.
Like
And
I think of the brain when you say rewiring, but I think that there's more of a connection through kind of all the aspects to wellness after talking to you.
100%, you can retrain and rewire the body to heal itself. There's different components of a physical component. Like people have been reaching out because of various different pains they have, this, that, and the other, and they know, oh, this guy seemingly knows his stuff. Heck, I was just camping with someone up and met some people at the campsite. We're up, just up north.
Clarny?
North Bay somewhere. Oh, I can't remember the name.
French River?
Beautiful. Close. Gorgeous camping. Just met this other couple. We started talking, shooting the breeze, and they're asking all about fitness and health and all that. And people just want to understand health and pain. So we have different components in the course. One is based on nutrition. Obviously, you have to build a good temple so things can grow, and that you want to live where summer it works well. So you have to plant the right seeds, if you will, so things can take root. We deal with physical stuff, and that people, I'm just creating a video on this right now. It's a bit of a teaser of it's a bit of a teaser in that the old adage, the doctors, how they we have low back pain, they'd prescribe bed rest, which is what they did back in the day.
Oh, I know. Crazy, right?
That has now gone the way of the dodo bird, and that people are constantly in agony, reaching out to me. First thing I do is get them moving.
Yeah.
What? I can't move. My knee kills. Don't care. We're getting to move. There's ways to make it move, for you to make it move. And the neat thing is this program, it's not diagnostic. I'm not diagnosing anything. I'm just getting people to retrain, rewire. And the first thing they do is start to actually move. If their shoulder's messed up, we get them to move it in gentle, easy ways. There's many different things you can do. One fellow I worked with, he's got a really bad foot. It's destroyed his foot, if you will. He hasn't seen anyone, doesn't know what to do. So we just consulted him, helping with him online, on the phone, and now he's starting to move a lot better. He's getting rid of his crutches now, thankfully, which is great. But we're dealing a lot with nutrition. I put in some very specific stuff because a lot of it. Here's the thing: 90% of a correct diagnosis comes from a good history. Likewise, with clients, you have to understand where they're coming from, where their problems is. So we dig deep. And that's where a lot of these problems come to be. And lo and behold, some of his nutrition was not the best. So the second week we tackled that in this course, we tackled with him right away. Had to, because it's not going to heal with what he's eating.
Right.
And then the third is, what are the mental blocks that are holding you back? Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. And people will limit themselves. I cannot do that. No, it's not what you can't do. It's what you can do. But a lot of that comes from self-determination up here. Like, what do I want to do? How far can you go? That incidentally they had to slow me down. Part of my rehab, I don't know if this will get me in trouble or whatnot, but I had a whole care team that looked after me when I was at the hospital. And they purposely had to slow me down with brain injuries of this magnitude. Attentiveness is an issue, executive function, impulse control. Some people will cuss like banshees. And for whatever reason, it lit me up. And such that they had to slow me down. They're worried that I go cycling too hard, too fast, this, that, the other, and they had to slow me down. And one thing we always talk about was PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. All doctors and common know about this. People go away to war and whatnot, or they have major stress in very stressful environments, and it really messes people up large. I had a lot of patience with that. After presenting at the Canada Sales Congress, another presenter called me up on the phone afterward, and she's like, holy moly, have you ever heard of PTSD? I'm like, of course, I'm a doctor. She's like, have you ever heard of PTGS? I'm like, excuse me? What the heck is that? She's like, post-traumatic growth syndrome. I'm like, what? She goes, it's a relatively new field in the neuropsych field. She goes, just look it up, research it. It's highly debated. But after seeing you walk around the stage or gimp around the stage, whatever, after the way you communicate with the crowd, the way you engage, I said to myself, man, this guy's got it. He's very engaged. Like, he's totally got it. And So yeah, there's kind of lit a fuse up here, and that yeah, I want to train, want to exercise and work out, and you can you don't have to undergo the kind of crazy trauma that I did. You don't have
Hopefully
to
not,
undergo it. No, you
because
don't have to. You don't have to rewire this, but you have to want to do that. There's a lot that starts from up here, and yeah, you can create anew. I'm just recalling some
I was
lawyers.
telling someone earlier today that because I've worked as a massage therapist, I've worked with people who'd had head injuries in the past, and you know, yeah, executive function, time management. I say, but what seemed to happen from yours was you your I can't function seemed to break. But maybe you always had maybe you never had the I can't function. Like when you after your accident, it seemed like everything you like, I can't. What are you crazy? Of course I can. I can do this. I
Yeah,
can do that.
and
I can do this. I can do that.
and you're not wrong. That's why they purposely tried to start. I'm looking away. I'm thinking neurolinguistic programming, looking away. They would
Yeah, no, I
constantly
know.
try.
That's when I'm thinking. I look over here.
Yeah, different axes of the brain. You're looking for different points, but they had to
Right?
slow me down for fear that I would hurt myself because like the wants to go, whoa, whoa, it's nuts. It's
Traditional thinking is you were still healing, right? So if
they
you some
were,
and when you're healing, sometimes if you go too far, then you
yeah,
go two steps back. So you kind of understand a little bit of what they were trying to do because they hadn't probably ever
yeah.
encountered somebody like you.
Well,
I know I haven't.
well, that's I don't know how to take that. It's
Take
funny.
it, it's all good.
It's all good. It was funny. We had a lawsuit and stuff like that, and a good year and a year and a half after I was being treated back here in Canada with a care team, not but the accident occurred in the States. So we had an American psychiatrist evaluate me for the
Right.
lawsuit. And he evaluated me, starts asking these questions. He's like, okay, tell me about the pain. I'm like, there's no pain. He's like, okay, tell me about the dizziness. I'm like, no dizziness.
That's
Like,
not good for a lawsuit.
he's like, but then he goes, that's not uncommon. I'm like, what? He goes, the more severe the brain injuries, you often don't get this stuff.
Huh?
Like I used to see patients all the time post MBA and tons of pain, numbness, and it would really affect them big time.
Yeah.
It never really did with me. And the neurophysiatrist was explaining, or psychologist rather, was explaining that the more serious the brain injuries, you often don't see this stuff. Kind of knocks it right out. And I will tell you right now, I cannot smell. It took me
Oh,
2 years. It took me 2 years to figure that one out. Someone goes in the bathroom. Oh my gosh, it's your brain telling us something smells like, or the bacon's frying in the pan. Oh, that smells good. No, it doesn't. It took me 2 years. I went to the mall, went to the Lush store in the mall, and I was smelling everything. Nothing. Smell the coffee. Try
you can
this.
smell the
No,
Lush store like 3 blocks away. You don't even have to go
not me.
into it.
Oh, I went in and tried to inhale everything I could, and it was my ear, nose, and throat doctor friend kind of explained the way the neurons of the olfactory apparatus went up in the brain. He goes, "Yeah, you blew them apart up in the brain. It was such a severe injury. Can't smell anymore."
Wow.
But there was the psychologist said oftentimes when they're serious traumatic events like that, it's not like a typical concussion where they get a lot of pain. It's a lot
Right.
more severe. So, don't know pain. Then, yeah.
That's good
Oh,
though. I mean, that's probably part of how you could push yourself. Um, and they had to slow you down because you couldn't didn't hurt, right?
I, I like to cycle a lot, and I would put my bike on the trainer in the house in the winter. I would do sprints on there, and my physiotherapist to work with is a neurophysiotherapist. She got me a heart rate monitor. You put her over your chest.
Yeah.
And it was for me, the reason why I was given it is that it was to limit my heart rate. She did not want it too high. It couldn't get over 160 because
Oh,
like because I wasn't with us for a bit, it can it's such a traumatic injury. They're very concerned that if this guy goes too hard, bang, it can happen again. That'll be it. You can't
right.
do that. So they purposely slow me down. Now, of course, I use a heart rate monitor. I like to play games like see how high I get the heart rate up to, which is pretty insane when I do sprints. It's pretty high, but That's the game, you know.
So, and I mean, I am a fitness person. So, I mean, I've worked out for, and I'm a trainer and everything. But I think about people because sometimes the people that I train, um, if they heard you, they'd be afraid to come and work with you because of how hard you push yourself. But yes, tell me.
No,
I can
well, it's
see a
funny
thought
because
coming.
that's going so the wheels will start. I had a doctor friend, the ear, nose, and throat doctor friend. I didn't have. I said had. I have ear, nose, and throat doctor friend. He suffered a stroke during surgery for his knee.
Whoa.
Yes, such that he cannot see the left hemisphere of each eye. Yeah, it's messed up. It's a weird stroke. It's
Yeah.
bad. He's practicing sleep medicine right now. Anyway, he doesn't have to require his eyesight. So anyhow, the stroke hit his left hemisphere of his brain. He likes to work out and stuff like that. In this past winter, we were at the house and he came out of the basement. We're training, and I used a strategy with him that I learned from Dr. Stu McGill, like neural
Oh
wiring
yeah.
to light up the nervous system.
Isn't he a
And
back doctor too?
yeah, he is. You know,
Yeah.
I've presented with him, I've seen him, we've met a bunch of times. Yeah, the McGill exercise, you know your stuff. Anyhow, his work, but also Ross Edgley's work. He's the fellow who swam around Great Britain,
Right.
and he was talking about training. Um, when he's swimming, he was describing the cruiser kill speed. Like sometimes you just cruise along and then bang, kill. So I adapted this with my friend who were training, Dr. McGill's and Ross Edgley's work. I adapted it with my friend with the stroke, such that we took dumbbells. We had 50-pound dumbbells, pretty easy for both of us to press. And I'm like, all right, here's what you're going to do. We're going to do press with these. I know they're easy to move. What I want you to do is you're going to explode the concentric explosion up and then come back slow. And bang, you're going to hit hard. And bang, this is back to McGill's work and the Ross Edgley cruise and kill phenomenon. And sure enough, when my friend did this, after about the third rep, oh my gosh, the left arm, like it was molasses. He couldn't move it. I'm like, perfect, we got it. All right, now you're going to take a long break, like a 4 or 5 minute break. We're going to the next set. You're going to line it up again. He couldn't figure out when he was failing the first couple sets.
Right.
It wasn't until about the third set, he's like, holy crap, Greg. Yeah, I can feel it. It does slow down. So now he's working out with a cruise kill, the Dr. Stu McGill phenomenon, like to light up the nervous system to enhance where the stroke affected that part of his brain. It
Right.
wasn't the heaviest weight, but it was just enough to light him up. And he's like, that was amazing. And
Just to get the brain, like the brain
to get the
getting
brain
involved, right?
right. So you're creating neural circuitry with him doing that. So that's back to the kind of work that I'm doing with clients and whatnot. So kind of created that on the go with him, and he quite liked it. So it was kind of cool.
That's cool. And I saw you posted something recently about pain because I mean, you didn't have pain, but you posted. What was the name of that post that you did? Pain and limiting your performance. I was going to go find it and see if I could post it. Can you give me a train brain, Mr. Train the Brain?
I have so many. I'll have to.
Hold on, I'll give you the title of it.
Okay.
Because I thought, oh, we should. Hey, I said, oh, we should bring up that one. You know what the problem is, right? There's so many Facebook groups now that I sometimes can't find the group that I'm looking for when you're a member of too many groups. But you gave it to me the other day on your in social media, didn't you? No, you didn't. Oh no, you gave it to me. Where are you?
Yeah. So
There you are.
I couldn't find it. I did something bad.
I was like,
That was bad.
hey, he's gone.
Yeah, that was bad. Sorry, everyone. Apologies.
That's okay. That's okay.
I really should not be looking for it, but yes, I can find that. There's lots of videos. I'm creating another one right now, all about pains and whatnot.
It was something about pain and performance, and how performance affects or pain affects your performance in ways you don't know. Am I describing that properly?
100%. Yeah. I'm
But
looking
what?
at it.
So
Is physical, yeah, is physical pain slowing your business down? Is that the one you're referring
yes,
to on
that's
YouTube?
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. I'm like, oh my.
That's
I'm
why I
working on
designed.
my memory, for
That's okay.
real.
I'm on Safari right now to talk to you. Let's go back to Chrome. Yeah, that's what that tackles a whole bunch of different things from the course that we're going to be hitting. But people are specifically asking more so about certain pains like neck pain, back pain, gut trauma, like all sorts of weird stuff. Not weird stuff, but different things. Knee pains, foot pains.
Unexpected things, maybe.
Yeah, like different stuff. So I've been tackling all that and hitting it from different ways, different strategies, if you will.
To to
Okay.
to like get rid of it, or to um, manage it, or
To manage, here's the thing: we're on Best Doctor, and I'm not in active practice anymore. There's far too much up here. And now I'm sharing that with others to become their own best doctor, to figure out what's going on. That's our first week in our program. Of course, all we deal with is, okay, let's try and assess the physicality. Let's get you moving. Let's try and figure out your symptoms. What do they mean? Okay, I can't move my knee this way. I can move my knee like this. All right. So you become your own doctor. You kind of self-assess, figure out what's going on. Next week, you deal with nutrition. What's the groundwork you're feeding yourself? So people can heal. The one fellow mentioned this call. I was showing him, or I was I do it through Zoom, telling him the technique. I believe you're on one call, but I did this to someone else as well. I showed them a technique, what to do, how to strip it out
oh, that
themselves,
was
what
wasn't
to
that
do.
Marsha's hand, her
Are you allowed
wrist?
to, yes, are you allowed to use the name? I guess it was. It was. I didn't want to use the name, but
It's
I'm
okay.
very
Nobody knows who
conscientious.
she is but us.
Okay. Yes, it was. And how this other individual, same thing. I taught him some things online. Marshall was 200 kilometers away, and I had someone walk through how to tackle it. So there's a lot up here to share, to teach. To people will self-limit themselves, and I'm the architect of potentials. That you can create many things, and we will self. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. BS. That's bollocks. I don't have
And I
time to
guess
try.
some people feel like
Bollocks.
they want someone. They feel safer to have someone show them how to do it, in case they do some like you and I. We have some knowledge of how the body works, anatomy, what it, when we're doing something that's not good for it. But if you are totally disconnected from that, I guess it helps to have someone like you to say, yeah, you can do it, and I'm going to show you how. I just posted a link to your YouTube video that I was talking about, the
Okay.
physical pain slowing your business down.
Cool.
I
Yeah, and
mean,
that group, your members ought to join, because that's where you get all the information. There's another one being posted right now. But it's funny you mentioned that about you and I having a good knowledge base about certain stuff. I have a friend who fortunately had some pretty aggressive cancer. He's had lots of cancer surgeries. I used to take him down for treatments, for chemo, for radiation, and he's had, you name it, the whole gamut. Was on some experimental medication. I had to drive him down, spend some time with him.
right.
But he knows a ton about electrical and wiring, and he just figures that that's what he used to do, or kind of still does. All the electrical. He's very analytical, engineer minded. And when it comes to that stuff, I talk to him. He's like, when he looks at me, he goes, the way you talk about the bones, the body, nutrition, he goes, I default to you, because I was telling him what to do. He had so many surgeries. His wrist is all messed up. He's like, what's going on here? So I started naming them. He's like, what on earth are you talking about? And I told his wife what to do, how to strip it out. I was telling him what to eat, what nutritionist products to take, because he's doing such serious chemo stuff. I'm like,
Right,
how do
right.
you destroy your gut? We've got to get that gut looked at as well. He's like, I'm waiting on that. But anyhow, I gave him some very specific minerals, which everyone needs, whether or not. And I kept asking, what kind of medications you're on? That's the other
Right.
issue, because there's a lot
Yeah.
of side effects of that, and that's a big thing. It's all detective work. But anyhow, it's amazing. He goes, I default to you because you know this stuff inside out. And so he'll constantly call and ask me about that stuff. That incident, that doctor friend who I was helping with the training, He's also on some pretty potent meds to drive down his blood pressure.
Oh,
Because the stroke and all that stuff, he has to have this stuff so the pupils get more dilated, drives down his blood pressure, some blood thinners, all this stuff. He calls me one day, he's like, do you always get tired after you work out? Like, if I work out, I'm tired for a good 2 weeks after. I'm like, what?
that's
Like,
not right.
so I'm at the gym. He's telling me this stuff. In between sets, I'm listening to him. I'm like, what are you on? So he gives me what he's on. Vasodilators, like he's on not just baby aspirin, like lowering his cholesterol, like heavy duty stuff. And I'm like, dude, the stuff you're on, good God, man, the stuff you're on, get off this stuff. I mean, that's what, talk to the doc who's put you on this stuff, because that's where you're getting all, look at the side effects. And the problem is they all correlate with each other. And that's what's causing all these problems, because you should not be having pains a couple weeks later. I'm sorry.
No.
That's right. And so thankfully he did his homework, and thankfully they've slowed down some of the medication use. But yeah, as I was mentioning, my friend who took the cancer treatments, he defaults and just asks me this stuff about the body, the way it heals, this, that, and the other. And now there's even greater need with what's going on in the world today, with people in fear of others, like public lockdowns, which are bullocks. And sorry, but these things, they don't work. They don't make sense. What it does is it affects this human, our mental state, big time.
Right.
It affects us huge, and it's not working. In that, the number one cause of death in North America, long before COVID and up until after and still, is disease of lifestyle. What are diseases of lifestyle? Cancer,
right.
Heart disease, stroke, heart attack, these things, diabetes,
stress, obesity,
bingo,
diet.
bingo.
So when you're trying to help someone with their nutrition, I guess you're looking at everything. I mean, you have to look at everything, right? And are you looking at sleep? Because I've started listening. Have you read Arianna Huffington's book on sleep?
I have not read Arianna Huffington's book. I've heard it's really good, though.
Yes. I'm listening to the audiobook right now, and I've seen interviews with her. And I know some people who were training with a trainer in Toronto, and they were, women past a certain age, and they'd been working out, and they tried to watch what they ate. But they got their biggest impact on their health when their trainer said, changed, like almost like cut back their workouts and made them sleep more, because they were lacking the rest aspect of it. So did you ever rest in your recovery? It sounds like you never rested. I mean, you must have, but.
Yeah, no, I did. And it's funny because not funny.
Interesting.
Yeah. Everyone on my care team would ask how the sleep was, because with head injuries of this magnitude, sleep becomes a major issue.
And some people sleep all the time after a head injury, right? It's just like
narcolepsy and whatnot. And I presented the March Dimes, I was doing some presentations with them, did some work with them, and people would conk out while you're presenting. Like that's commonplace. They're conking out all the time.
Really?
With head, and people can't stay asleep. They constantly wake up. It's a very common trend with brain injuries. And yes, sleep has not been that good. But one thing I've been investing in this a lot, read a lot of books, listened to a lot of podcasts about this, learned a ton, and experimental. My friend's a sleep path doctor. Learned a ton.
You're wired in, man.
Well, I've learned a ton nutritionally, what to take, what works, what doesn't work for me.
Right.
And so I take some specific supplements, and I was just on another Joe Rogan podcast. Another doc was on as well, highlighting again some of the stuff which I'm taking, which it really works. So anyhow, I know some specific natural products that work for me. They might not work for you.
And it does differ for everyone, because I remember at one point I was working with a naturopath who was trying to help me manage my sleep, and I was taking melatonin and didn't do anything. So I was taking more. I finally said, nothing's happening. He said, okay, stop taking it.
Well, it's interesting you mention that, because it often does very little. And the one thing I learned with the nutritional industry, there's zero regulation with the nutritional industry. There's
Oh, right.
none
Like
whatsoever
the
in that.
potency of, and
Yes. I've used this stuff clinically with patients for years, good products, and there's certain high grade nutritional companies where you can get the stuff. I mean, yeah, you can go to some big box store and get some super cheap multivitamin for $6.
mhm,
But guess where most of it's going? To the toilet. It doesn't work. It's useless. It's a waste of your money.
right.
Um, I've been exposed through all the conferences, the courses, the programs I've taken to some really good high grade professional supplements that only doctors can order. And that's what I put a couple of these patients on. I ordered some specific stuff and I'm like, holy crow, what have you done to me? Like, that's amazing. And
Now,
likewise,
why do they limit it to only doctors being able to order it?
pardon me?
Why do they limit those kinds of things to only doctors
Well,
being able to?
you have to set up an account with them, stuff like that. It's not only for doctors. You can get the stuff, but you have to know what to look for, which companies to use. Like I said, there's zero regulation, and just on the podcast as well. Yesterday, saying the same thing, that you got to be really careful. And melatonin, as an for one, and both the time zone, the sleep stuff like that, but a lot of people have not really the best results with that. Yes, that was recommended. I played with that, apple cider vinegar, all these things didn't work, and finally found different forms of
And everybody's
nutrients.
going to have something different that's affecting their sleep. So I can
Yeah,
see how it might work for some people, right?
yeah,
And not others. I
yeah.
wanted to ask you, so your program that's coming, or no, is your program an ongoing? It's not like a sign up for it, do it, and it ends. Is it like an ongoing?
It's a 7/8 week program. It takes about 8 weeks for the changes to take place. They're not going to happen overnight. People reach out because of pain.
Nothing happens overnight.
No, it doesn't.
So
And like,
do they just come in at the beginning when they come in and they go
yep,
through it?
that
Oh, okay.
they're being recorded. Each session is being recorded. A week long instruction, and they will contact you afterwards. And that's had some clients that are pretty stoked. Sorry, excited, not stoked.
You can say
But
stoked.
okay, cool.
Stoked is not a swear word.
I would maybe go crazy because I speak with odd terms. But anyhow, it starts
It's
on
just from the
Tuesday.
80s, that's all.
Is it?
That's why people go stoked. What's stoked? I know what
Right.
stoked is because I'm over 50 already.
I'm about to be 50. I can't wait. But that's just, yeah. Anyhow,
So how do they find it though? Is it through your Facebook group that they
yes,
find it?
correct. It's through my Facebook group. That's being through my private Facebook group and posting content on my YouTube channel, but on my Facebook group, and people reaching out through Facebook. And heck, I've been
So when they're
talking.
in the Facebook group, there's just lots of information there. But if they
Yeah,
want their own specific, like, Greg, I need you to help me. I want to be a part of this. I want you to.
message me, reach out, DM
Okay.
me. That's the simplest way. I've been talking to some doctors in Czechoslovakia and stuff like that, talking to a lot of people in New York, people from around the world, which is really cool. That's one, as I mentioned, just got accepted to the Canada Speakers Bureau. Can't do that. But what has opened up is the online world.
Well, yes. I mean, I was part of this Professional Speakers Federation, and Chris Scapatura was saying all along, get ready because the online is going to be big. People are going to want speakers to be prepared and ready to speak online. And if you were already connected to all those places, for sure you could. And you've got so much content too. It's almost like for you, I feel like it's hard for you to decide which thing will I talk about
Well,
because you could talk all day.
yeah, I've been told
Right.
that. I've been told that by my wife, and my daughters were like, "Daddy, how do you talk to everyone everywhere?" I don't know. It just happens. We've met our other campers, and next thing we're talking about health, nutrition, lockdowns, all these things, and I'm explaining. They're picking my brain, so I'm giving them information. Lots of them. Why not?
Why
People
not?
who are up where want it. We're in the information age. The internet's amazing. It's opened up incredible opportunities to share information. Not that my information is, or one's information is the be all end all, the cat's meow. Doesn't work.
Everybody's got a different group that's going to want that information, right? So
Yeah, when you
you
pick
and other doctors, other trainers might have similar information, but it's how you
100%,
are packaging it for them.
you pick.
And
It's like the way I would do my research when coming up with a diagnosis for a patient. You pick your information. You're doing detective work in that. Okay, what do I know about this? What do I know about this? What do I know about this?
right.
and then you make an informed decision. Likewise with clients, same thing. When I start digging deeper, this one I was asking about how is the pain affecting her personal life and business. Well, it's not at all. It's not at all. So then about half hour into the conversation, like, okay, she's like, wait a minute, you know, I don't really move that much anymore. And because I sit so much for work, I'm kind of put on some weight. I'm like, okay. I'm kind of self-conscious about being in front of the camera. Like, bingo.
So it is affecting it, right? I mean,
Yes, like this, it affects other things. So yeah, while it's pain why people contact me for all these things, but it affects different aspects of their life. And that's what I do with this program, to uncover, dig deep.
and are you only doing one-on-one, or are you doing group as well?
It's primarily group.
Is
But
it?
well, sorry, it's both. Meaning it starts off with group recording. It'll be recording. Each week you're recording. And then to speak with Heather, okay, with Heather, Prosperity Flow coaching is dealing with her left eye. I'm looking at your glasses right now. I'm just making
I know
up.
they're crooked.
Her left eye is causing her some issues. Okay, let's talk with your left eye. Are you taking lutein? Are you taking this sort of stuff? You know, then we individually speak about that. Like this other patient I was talking about his foot. You may not could care less about feet, but that's an individual call. If the other person's about the knee, you could care less about knees. Who cares? So it all is the individual. Yeah, these are good. But yeah, so it's individual after, but yeah, it's group and individual.
Now, should they DM you? Should they email you? Should they? I mean, I'm going to put in the Facebook group again, just in case people missed it. Because
I would check the recording to make sure
yeah,
that video played, because it wasn't really.
I'm going to check it. Don't worry. But I want them to be able to get a hold of you, because I think listening to it, people understand that, like the lady you just talked about, they think, no, I'm fine. You know, everything's good. But then if you sit to think about it, you're like, actually, you know, I've noticed that if I sit all day, then I'm in pain. Like if I sit all day, I'll be in pain for 2.
Hello, and your husband just said that out of the blue. He goes, I want to work out.
Yeah.
Didn't know why.
You just felt pain, wanted to
When
work
I
out.
was coming out of the coma, out of the hospital, so I'm going on the walker. I couldn't drive a lot back then. I had a rehab support worker who would drive me. I would say to them, I just need to go to the gym. Kind of like your husband. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
I didn't physiologically understand at that point in time. Maybe I did. It was in the deep recesses of the brain. It was there, but I couldn't tell you why I need to go to the gym.
Right.
What was cool, what was funny, when I woke from the coma, where my first words were French, which is really messed up.
Can you speak French?
Well, that's the thing. I can.
Okay. Because that would be even funnier.
Well, I went to French immersion, but I'm not born in Quebec or France or anything. But even today, when I get mad in the kitchen, I'll cuss in French. It's, I cuss in French. And my neurophysiotherapist was saying that people oftentimes with severe brain injuries, the brain starts looking deep in the recesses for different languages. And that happened to me big time. So anyhow. Yeah.
There's got to be easier ways to learn a new language.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can't travel right now. So get your head in my car.
I know. I want people to be able to just connect and even look and see what you're about, right? So I put your
Should I send you my email on Facebook? Join that group, that Facebook group. There's tons that I put up on that private group.
Right.
Being managed for me right now. And I've been creating content all day. You sit at the start of this call, so I'm like, I've been filming all day. I'm editing I make my movies on iMovie, and it's based on the questions that people are asking. And a lot of questions are related to pain, but how it's affecting them, their mindset, the mental fog. And
I just put up your YouTube channel too.
Merci.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But we tackle these things from a holistic perspective. In that, I worked here's the thing, if I may. How long do we have? 4 minutes?
Yeah, sure. 6 minutes,
I think I worked in the healthcare realm, which is opposite realm of the COVID realm. I was a chiropractor, and health just isn't.
You were more in preventative healthcare than reactive healthcare. Yeah.
Right. we in North America live in a sick care model, meaning hospital sick care, OHIP sick care, which is if you're busted, get to the hospital. They'll fix you. If you have some disease, some trauma, some infection, something horrible, sign me up. Send me to the hospital. Saved my life. It was amazing. It was great. I worked in the opposite realm of the spectrum in the healthcare wellness prevention. Patients would come see me because of headaches or migraines or sciatica, whatever it may be. But then it was go away, and it's like I would have them exercise and often monitoring their nutrition, how much water you drink, and this, that, and the other. And then they're like, they would keep coming, to stay on top of things. And I'm doing the same thing with my clients right now. In that, sadly, unfortunately, because everyone's so reactively scared to move around, do anything because of COVID, our global health has gone down. It's taken the worst turn. Gyms shut down the province. Come on. That makes zero sense.
Even I find people who have injuries, or I had a lady once who came and she had a bulging disc and they fixed it. So she, they went in, it needed to be closed up. And she was afraid she stood rigid. Her back was not a happy back. And I said, you need to move. But she was afraid because she was afraid of the pain. So I think even people who have had injuries, they're afraid to get moving again in a safe way, right? So I think it's amazing that you're helping people get themselves, because people in pain aren't necessarily doing their best in the world. And we need people doing their best in the world to, we're going to up level our game, right?
Yeah, totally. Amen. It drives me batty. People are slowing themselves down. The situation with COVID and it being enforced upon them, at least in the province where we're at, gyms shut, they can't do this, they can't do that, and people are.
But there's still things they can do. So
right,
even while that's all happening,
they need to be guided and taught that.
Yeah, they need to be guided and taught and feel like they're safe in that, and whatever their choices are about what's happening. But I actually work out every day, because even with no gym, before I used to go to the gym, and now I turned my living room into a gym. So
good for you. That's awesome. That's amazing.
So it's all good, awesome. But I found my way to do it, to keep myself healthy through whatever happens and what's ever happening. I've found my way, and I do call in outside experts because I'm something's happening. I can't turn my head. Can someone, but but I can see I feel like we're in an advantage in that because of our training. So I appreciate how much you are helping people, and I want, people to be able to reach out to you and have you help them. Even if you don't think there's anything wrong with you, if you think you're 100% fabulous, I would still check in with Dr. Greg because you would ask me questions. I'd go, oh crap. Yeah, you're right.
What is that?
Oh man, I thought it was perfect. Damn it.
What's going on there? Well, thank you. That's
so yes, I will check the video to make sure that everything posts all right. But I've posted how to find your Facebook group. I've posted your YouTube channel. I'm gonna post it again later, because I'm gonna double check all of the places that this shows up to make sure that people can reach out to you. And I'm gonna encourage people to absolutely hook up with Dr. Greg. You're the best, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Hard for you?
I hope I can do it right. Is it hard?
It looks close enough, Okay, my friend. Peace. Peace. I'm going to see you because we live in the same city. I thought you lived out west.
I'm in Aurora.
Oh, you're okay. You're not right in the city, but I'll find you someday.
Okay.
Come and find you. All right.
In the province of Ontario.
I'm in downtown Toronto.
Oh, we're very close.
Peace out, my friend.
Muchas gracias. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Hi, my friend. Thanks so much for listening to this entire podcast. If you found it useful and you're like me and you like helping others, please feel free to share this. Just give it a like, give it a comment. If you found something useful in it, there's a chance that someone else will find something useful as well. Also, if you have any questions at all, I can absolutely help, and I would love to help. You can email me at heather@prosperityflowcoaching.com. If you want more of this awesome content, you can follow me on Instagram, Heather Stewart Coaching. You can follow me on Facebook, Prosperity Flow Coaching. And I have a personal request. I want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. And if you could give me a review, hopefully a good one, if you could share, if you could send this out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that you find your way to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend.